Shalom, Yasharala, and good evening to you all. I hope that y'all are having a pleasant, peace-filled evening. It's beautiful out here today. I'm gonna go ahead and timestamp today Hebraically and then move into the Gregorian timestamping. And we're gonna jump right into this teaching because I'm super excited to continue in this epistle with Paul. So today is the 23rd day of the seventh Hebrew month. Okay, we are finishing off the Feast of Tabernacles. It is now the second day of the week. So I am in the last evening in which I will be sleeping in my tent. I have mixed emotions about it. I'm so like it's bittersweet because it's like, okay, obviously we know it's going to end and it has to end. And then it's like, okay, I am excited to get back to my pretty pink palace. So, okay. But then it's like, man, like this was a rejuvenating, reviving, very quickening memorial for me. And I'm very thankful for it. So I hope that any of you who are finishing it up feel the same. And if not, even more pumped up about it. And for any of you who've already completed your Feast of Tabernacles, I hope that it made you feel very great inside and edified your spirit and picked you up where you fell. So again, today is the 23rd day of the seventh Hebrew month, and we are finishing off the Feast of Tabernacles, and it is now the second day of the week. Gregorian wise, it is the 12th day, yes, of the 10th month of the year of 2025 AD. It is currently 10:01 p.m. Central Standard right now, and it is still Sunday because it's not yet midnight or 12 a.m. So, beautiful day and time is passing. Thank the Lord. We thank the Most High for all of this, like everything. We got to thank the Lord. It's amazing how amazing He is. Words can never fathom. Y'all, this day was very peace-filled for me. It was very peace-filled. I slept, I had a very great nap, and, I had, chores that I had to finish. I got up super early, about 6, and, had some tending to my garden that I had to do, and, then I ran a few errands, and then I got back and I napped, and I got in my tent, and I slept so good, y'all, and I had a beautiful dream, y'all. I had a beautiful dream. I gotta share it with y'all. It was amazing. And it's like, you know how when you forget a dream and then like maybe you smell something or see something around the house or hear something and it jogs your memory of your dream. That's what happened while I was preparing this teaching. I was typing in the title and then like it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh my God, I did have a phenomenal dream. This dream, I was in I was in an apartment and I was amongst people I did not know the people in that apartment, except one woman, rather. She looked very familiar. She looked like a woman that I formerly worked with. And we were amongst a lot of, for lack of better words, ghetto people. It was a lot of ghetto black women in there. And they were sitting in front of the TV, kind of like in a circle, sitting in front of the TV in the living room. And the apartment was just like you could tell it was in the hood, like how it was set up, and it wasn't mine. It was like I was with someone. And I'm assuming I was with the woman that I formerly worked with, and she was maybe with her family, and I was probably just in attendance there. But the ambience, like the color that was going on in this dream was like it was like a reddish, blackish ambience to it. It was like so I don't know, I can't explain it. But there was news playing in the background. They were, like, watching the news, and, I was, like, pumped up in the spirit, I was excited and full of joy, y'all, and the woman that I knew, I'm gonna call her Ross because that was her last name. I don't wanna say her first and last name, but her last name was Ross. So, Ross was standing there, and, she was looking at me in distaste, like, with all of my joy. We weren't even talking or anything at that point, we were just, like, standing there, and she was just disgusted with how joy-filled I was. On the news, you could hear, the person broadcasting, and, she was, like, saying, "Oh, forget what you're seeing," and, "It's not real," etcetera, etcetera, like, they were trying to scare people, "Don't pay attention to it. It's this, it's that." And it was like, there was something that happened that transitioned that moment, and I remember I ran out the door. And I was on the top floor in this apartment, so the way that it was made, you, like, walk out of the apartment and then, you have that rail with all the doors or whatever, but it was that rail, so you would have to run past the rail to go down the stairs and then down those stairs to get to the bottom. So I ran out of the apartment, and I'm looking at the sky, and the sky is filled with 3 sets of lights that were going in a circle. And so at that point, like, my spirit leaped in me, like, I saw, like, 3 chariots, and they were huge, like, they were very, very big, like, they were big, and then the 3 of them, they were all the same size, but the way that their lights were, it was like they were stacked, so it was a ring of lights, and then it was, like, another ring of lights at the top, and so you could tell that they were big, they were huge, and there were other people outside. Some of them were, like, struck in fear, paused, stuck in fear, and some people were, like, wanting to go back into their homes to hide, and so I was, like, the only one. I was running trying to get to the chariots, and you could tell the make of its shape because of the lights, right? And I could see how big it was, and you could kinda see the silhouette. It was, like, faded a bit, but you could see it. In the midst of those 3 chariots, there was one chariot that was, like, present, but it was not the same shape, but I knew it was a chariot, and it was shaped like a cone, but it was not pointy at the top. It was like a flat and then down and then flat. Let me see. Maybe I could draw it for you. Flat, down, and flat. I'm not about to go too into detail. Let me maybe make some beams, some light beams or whatever. The X's are light beams, right? So that's about how that chariot looked. The X's in the corners are just the light beams. That chariot, you could see it in the middle of the 3 chariots, and it was like it was it was dark, it was black. It was black. That was what I could see, it was black. And I knew that there were lights on it, but it was like you couldn't see the lights. And I know that that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense if you can see the dream. And so the way that they were operating, that one in the middle was like the leading chariot. And then the ones around it were basically following. And I remember when I was coming out, I'm running, y'all, I'm running. It felt like I was running forever. I was running, trying to get to it. And then, Ross, she's following behind, but she's walking, like she's lagging and she has distaste on her face. Like she's not thrilled about it at all, right? And so I'm running. And then I'm like trying to get to the chariots because it's like I could feel the power, like I could feel the virtue on those chariots. So I'm like, if only I could just take a picture or record it, I know I could keep that virtue with me. So I'm running and like the chariot is fading. The circular ones that are the usual shape that we know, they started fading, but I can still see the lights, so I know that they're there. And it's like I'm trying to get to them, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna miss it." And it's like I could tell that they could hear my thoughts, and it was like they would stop to give me time to get to where I'm trying to get to. And then like I'm like, "Okay, I can keep running." So I'm running, right? I'm running. And then at that point, like, I get to where I'm trying to get to, and I see them, oh my god, like, my spirit was dang near about to leap out my body, y'all. I could feel it in the dream. So, I'm pulling out my phone, and I'm trying to record it and just take a picture because 'cause I'm like, "If I could just take this picture and keep it with me, I know I can get the virtue from it. I know I can." And so I'm there and I'm just looking at him and I'm just overfilled. I'm overflowing with joy, y'all. And so I'm looking at these chariots and the one in the middle, like it was just like so much like you could feel the authority of it. Like it was so austere. You could feel it. It was masculine. Like you could feel it. Like I could feel it. And I was like, I felt a sense of peace. But the peace was so overwhelming that I was full of joy. And I was just like, I just know. I just know. And it was like I was laughing because words couldn't fathom what I was feeling. So I was so overtook by joy. And I was laughing and I was like, oh my God. And so the circular one started fading and the one in the middle of them, like it basically like disappeared. It's like it disappeared and then the three that were following, like they slowly disappeared. And so like I was just like I was so happy and I was laughing the entire time because I just couldn't believe that I got that opportunity to feel that power. Like it was powerful, y'all. Like I remember how that power felt. And so I'm running back into, the apartment. I wasn't necessarily running, but, like, maybe jogging, skipping or whatever, like, that's me, like, that's how I am in general, like, that's me, upbeat. It's like that upbeat walk, like, "Man," like, "Okay." So I go into the apartment, And then, it's that ambience again, that red and black ambience. And it was similar outside, but it wasn't as strong as it is or as it was in that apartment. And I remember, Ross, like, she stood in she was, like, standing behind the women, they were still watching TV, they were watching the news, and the news is still playing, and the news was like, "Yeah, if you see any videos, don't believe it, it's not true, and the authorities, if they find the videos, they'll take them and erase them, blah, 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 blah." But I knew I had a video, and I'm like, "Ain't nobody taking my video from me, I need the virtue in it," right? So, um, Ross was, like, looking at me in distaste, and it's like, at that point, y'all, I started, like, flying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hovering, I was coming off the ground, and it was like I was controlling the power, like, I was hovering, and then me, like, I started, like, doing ballet, like, I was, like, on my toes, but I was in the air, y'all, like, and I was, like, touching like, I would, like, do, like, a ballet pose and touch the back of my foot, and, like, Ross is standing in front of me looking at me do these things, but she's disgusted, and, like, the more she's looking, like, the higher I'm going. The higher I'm going, and I'm laughing and overflowing with this joy, like, "Oh my god?" And so, she's seeing me, like, hovering. I wasn't flying yet, but I was hovering, and it's like if I wanted to fly, I knew I could fly, but I'm standing there looking at her, and then I finally come down. I come down to the floor, and I like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" And then I'm looking at her, and I remember I had a jar. I don't know where it came from, but I had this jar, and the thought that was in my mind was, "I'll just keep the virtue here." And so I put my virtue in the jar, and I put it in my pocket. She didn't see it, like, it was plain as day because 'cause I'm watching the dream, so it's plain as day I see it, but she didn't see the jar. And so, she was like, "You the only one that wasn't scared, and you running after them? You wasn't scared?" And so, I'm looking at her, and I'm like, "Why would I be scared?" You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at myself like, "You see what's going on? Like, this is power. Like, what would you be scared of?" You know? So, I remember at that point, like, the dream was about to end, and I had a thought to myself, and I was like, "Well, should I be scared?" I was like, would I had have gone if they would have said I could come with them?" And I was thinking those thoughts because she's, like, giving me these evil thoughts, and so I'm like, "Would I?" But then it was like I kept, like, seeing in my mind, I was replaying, like, the event of being able to witness that authority and that power, and it overfilled and overflowed, like, any negative that was going on, and I was just full of joy again, and I remembered that jar that was in my pocket full of virtue, so I knew if I wanted to, I could fly. You know what I'm saying? I can get out of here. You know what I mean? It was just like it was just like it was lovely. It was beautiful thoughts, and I ended up waking up. And I had forgot all about the dream until I was in here and I was typing up the title of this lesson, and then it came to me. And so I'm like, "Oh my god." So, y'all, like oh my god, like, I haven't had a dream like that in a while. I have a lot of dreams like that, like, boost my spirit and, like, it makes my spirit jump and leap out of me. I have them, but I haven't had that one in months. I haven't seen chariots in my dreams in months, and so it was, like, reviving to see it. And what I was actually going to do is look into some, UFOs to see if I find one that looked like that shape. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the book of Romans. Okay, so we're gonna move back into the book of Romans, and we are going to be picking up in chapter 3. Now, since I see that the time is already at almost 14 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna keep this same title, but I'm basically just gonna do like maybe parentheses part two, so that we understand that this one actually comes with the following behind it. Because I don't want the teaching to be mixed with this. This is a great teaching. So I'm gonna let y'all go, and I will see y'all shortly. Either you'll see the video in just a minute after this one, or you'll see it in the morning, noon, or evening of the following day. So bear with me, believe me, I'm about to get it up. Shalom.